I'm officially joining the Tom Lee Club and calling for the S&P 500 to reach 15,000. And after looking at the data and looking at all the shoppers spending their money, it's absolutely possible. And for me, the simplest way to capture that run is sticking with the VOO. I'm riding that wave all the way up, and you should too. And before we get started, I really need you guys to like the video. Hit that thumbs up right there. Before you go on, hit the thumbs up. That's all you gotta do, because you hit the thumbs up, then my video can go out, to people. And I'm giving knowledge, like I'm giving 9 to 5 brothers knowledge on how to invest into the stock market. Subscribe to the channel. Comment on the channel. What do you think about this? What do you think about the stock market, right? Do you think it's a gimmick? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's going to go up? Do you think you can make money off it? Do you think you can get rich off of it? Like the video, subscribe, and comment on my video. And keep it Econ 100, man. Now let's get to the video. So a lot of times people need visuals, and visuals help people to understand these things. So I've heard a lot of people say they want some visuals. They want to understand what's really going on when they're talking about the S&P 500, right? And why I'm thinking that the S&P 500 is going to 15,000. I think so, and I agree with Tom Lee. So back in 2008, the S&P 500 was only at 1447. We had a downturn, right? A recession. Remember the recession? I wasn't involved during that recession because I didn't have no clue what was going on with finances at that time. But I do remember that we had a housing crash back in 2008, and it was at 1447, the S&P 500. Let's take it to 2020 when we had a COVID downturn. It was at 3750. So from 2008 to 2020, this damn thing doubled, almost tripled, right? It almost tripled from 14 to 3750. Now, let's take it to after the COVID happened, right? And in 2020 is when I started learning how to do stocks, right after COVID, right? 3750, that's what the S&P 500 was. Fast forward 5 years later to now, currently in 2025, this is at 6,800. So when Tom Lee says that he thinks that the S&P 500 is going to 15,000 in 2030, you just got to do the math. Think about it. If this doubled, we're at like 1,200, right? It's a possibility. This thing would, it's not even a possibility. It will double. The S&P 500 holds 500 of the greatest companies, right? We're talking about Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Home Depot, Nike, IBM. I mean, the list goes on. These are stocks that we use and that we know every single day, right? It was at 1447 in 2008. If you had put $1 into the stock market in 2008, it would have had almost triple, actually quadruple to 2025. So it's never too late. It's basically what I'm trying to say. You put some money into the S&P 500 right now in 2025 and watch it grow in 5 years. It was going to double in 5 years. If you want to buy into the S&P 500, you can do so by buying an ETF. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, right? The ETF we're going to talk about is the Vanguard VOO. I'm sure you've heard this plenty of times. Everybody usually buy these things. It makes sense because it's a low cost ETF, which means it doesn't cost much at all to actually own the thing. Vanguard is an international investment company that specializes in low cost index funds and ETFs. We're going to talk about the VOO and the prices of VOO. So back in 2008, it didn't even exist, right? But in 2020, it did exist. And that price was at 263. And I remember buying one or two of those things and I sold it like an idiot because I didn't know what I was doing at that time, right? Fast forward, the damn thing tripled almost. It's at 626. There's a chance that we'll go to 1,000. And once it goes to 1,000, maybe 1,200, 1,400, sometimes they split. Once they get so big in number, they'll split. They'll do like 3 for 1 or maybe 4 for 1 or 5 for 1. Right now, that price is 626. You can just dollar cost average in. You don't have to buy a whole share of this. You can put $50 in it and you'll own a piece, a fractional share of one share of VOO. One share costs 626, but it used to cost 263 in 2020. It tripled, right? It's going to triple again. It may quadruple, it may double, but whatever. It's definitely going up, right? The trajectory of the S&P 500 looks like this. That's what it looks like. Google it. Google S&P 500, right? And then hit max years. You'll see that the chart starts like way down here and goes straight up like that. Now, obviously, there's some dips here and there, and those dips are the dips that you want to buy. Think about it. In 2008, when this was at 1447, I'm sure this price went down a little bit and then it went up. Before it got to 3750, it was going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Because think about it, crashes happen. Um, we have little pullbacks that happen. Consolidation happens. We have news. We have war. We have different presidents. We have different politics involved. Different laws. We have incidents that happen. News. Everything can contribute to the stock market going down, right? But those dips are buying opportunities because you're never going to buy at the high. Yeah, you may buy at the high, but you're not buying at the highest because nobody knows where the highest is at, right? Nobody knew this was going 37.50 from here. If you'd have bought right here, you'd have been good. If you'd have bought right here, you'd have been good. It doesn't matter where you buy. There's always a dip, and during that dip, you got to buy right there. Yes, it automatically goes into a straight line, but there's some dips in between there. There may be a chance where it's like this, and it goes straight down like that. So what? You bought it here, you bought it here, you bought it here, you bought it here. You're gonna keep buying at different buy points. That's what dollar cost averaging is. Dollar cost averaging is you're just buying it at different points in the way it costs, right? So this week it may be you buying it at 626. Next week you're buying it at 620, and then maybe next month it'll be at 600. But eventually it's going all the way up. Okay. Here's another visualization of what would happen if you was to put $50 in to the S&P 500 every single week. Let's just say you had $1,000. Let's just say next year, right? You get your tax return. You have an extra $1,000 that you don't know what to do with it, right? You take that $1,000, you open up a brokerage account, open up a Roth IRA, or you open up a regular brokerage account, right? You have $1,000. You want to buy this ETF, the VOO, VOO, right? VOO brings you back like 10, 12% a year. Lately, it's been going up like 20% a year, but that's not sustainable, right? So let's just say it goes up 10 to 12% per year, right? The VOO, right? You're putting in $25 a week. Well, no, you're putting in $50 a week. All right. Let's just say you cut back on a couple of things. You have extra $50. You can put it in per week, every single week for 25 years, right? So say if you're 18 years old, $50 a week, that's really nothing, right? Just, you live with your mom, you maybe stay in college, you put in $50, you're missing nothing. If you're older, same thing. You're not doing anything. Well, you know what? Obviously, if you're younger, you probably don't have $50, so you won't put in 25. You young, you got time, you could put in for 45 years, you're fine. But let's just say you're a little older, right? You're a little older, you should have an extra $50. He's going to have to cut back on a couple of things. I bet most of you guys probably DoorDash, you probably paid $50 for your haircut, you bought a new hat, bought some new sneaks or whatever, took a girl out, whatever. You can save $50 a week. You just got to sacrifice. And if you can't, then you got to go out there and get you another job, Uber, do some overtime. $50 a week for 25 years will get you $500,000, right? So year one, you want to put in 50. You want to start out with $1,000, and every week you're going to put in $50. Year one is $1,000, right? I meant to put 1,000 right there, not a zero. So $1,000, $1,000 you're putting in, right? You're starting out with 1,000. You're putting in $50 per week. This is year one, only $1,000. By year 12, you're going to have $100,000. Now, something you guys should know. Back in school, we was all taught this compound interest. It's all about a snowball effect, right? You have a little bit of snow, a little snowball. It goes downhill and it gets bigger as it goes downhill, right? And then it goes up like that, right? It gets velocity. It just goes down, gets bigger and bigger, bigger, and it goes just like that, right? So the snowball effect, you're starting off with $1,000. By year 12, it's going to $100,000. Right now, you're probably just a little, these couple years from year one to year 12, it looks like it's just stagnant a little bit, going up a little bit. But by year 12, that's when that compound interest is going to just keep rolling. I mean, it's going to roll straight up in the air like this. So by year 25, you're looking at over $400,000. And all you've been doing was putting in $50 a week. That's it. You can do it. I know you can do it. $50 a week. This is the visualization. $1,000. You're starting off. You take that $1,000 that you're going to get next year with your tax return. Don't waste it. Open up a brokerage account. Open up a Roth account, right? $1,000 starting off, but you only put in $50 a week. You're going to cut back on a couple of things. You're going to eat in a little bit. You're not going to buy those sneaks. You're going to say to your girl, you know what? Let's just cut back a little bit. Let's not go out every weekend. Let's go out maybe twice a month or something like that, right? Well, you're not going to get your hair cut every week, right? But $50, 50, that's all you need. $50 per week, right? You take that $50, you put into the VOO after you open your brokerage account. You automatically, I showed you the chart before, how it happens where the damn chart goes straight up. There's some dips, but we both know, or we all know, that eventually that VOO is going up, the S&P 500 is going up, right? You're starting off $50 a week, and you got 1,000. By year 12, you have 100,000. You'll have over $100,000 by year 12. By year 25, you're gonna have over $400,000, close to $500,000. And the reason why I say close to $500,000 because guess what? This damn thing pays dividends. This damn thing pays you to have the stock. It pays you dividends. When you add on the growth of this thing plus the dividends, you're looking over $500,000. So if you're 40 years old and you think you're like not, you won't have no money for when you get retired, you're 65, you start off doing this. You do this, you do this. And I'm not telling you just to only do this, right? This is just the ETF strategy. But you know what? Start learning how to do individual stocks as well. But we're talking about the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is represented by this ETF, the VOO. The S&P 500 is going to $15,000 by 20, oh, not $15,000, 15,000 points by 2030. You starting off right now, 2026, right? The damn S&P 500, I think was 60, almost 6,800 right now. So in 4 years, it's going to $15,000. You need to catch that double is what I'm trying to say. 2026, let's make it happen. Make a New Year's resolution for yourself, right? $50 per week. Take $1,000, open a brokerage account, $50 a week into the VOO. And then once you get the hair, or even close to here, maybe year 5, you start learning how to do stocks and you're like, you know what? Damn, my money is actually growing. Then you want to start buying some individual stocks. And the individual stocks you want to buy is the things you know. You don't want to listen to somebody that's telling you to buy this penny stock. And no, you want to buy the stocks that you know. You wear it all day long. You know what I'm saying? You wear Nike. You got a cell phone. You got Apple. You got T-Mobile. You got a T-Mobile service. You work with Microsoft. Use the Meta, Facebook, whatever. Come on, man. You know these things. You cook all day with certain products that are actually stocks. Your kids probably wearing Crocs right now. That's a stock. You probably didn't know that. Timberland's a stock. Did you know that? Adidas is a stock. Did you know that? People that make these hats are stocks. It's all types of stuff out there we don't even know. Like the glass on the iPhone is a stock. It's called cornware. Cornware is a stock. You got to do your research by using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the future. ChatGPT will help you learn how to do stocks, how to research stocks, right? If you don't want to listen to me, just put it in ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT where does it think it's going to the S&P 500 is going to be by 2030. Just ask and ask ChatGPT if I put in $50 per week for the next 25 years, and I start out with $1,000, how much I will have in 25 years? It's going to spit out with $500,000, including the dividends, right? It gets the S&P 500 usually gets you back 10 to 12%, sometimes less, sometimes more. Right now, it's giving 20% a year lately, but that's not sustainable, like I said earlier, right? But I'm just trying to tell you, man. You have an extra money, $50 per week. You can do this. I learned how to do this 5 years ago. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but if I continue to learn how to do this and continue to put money in, I'll be okay, and I could probably pass it along to the kids, right? Because I started late like everybody else, right? But I'll be good for retirement, and you could do the same thing. But you got to start here. You got to understand the math. The math is it's right there. The chart is going up. Like the damn thing goes like that. The damn stock market goes straight up in the air. There's dips in between there, and you want to buy those dips. But and it doesn't really matter like who's in office. It doesn't matter like what's going on in the news or what type of incidents happen, hurricane. The stock market goes straight up. Yeah, there's dips every now and then. There may be big dips, but you want to buy it. You want to keep buying. And another thing, make sure you have some cash on the side. Like if you're doing $50 a week and you got an extra $25, put it in a savings account. So when these dips happen, you can buy those dips. That's another way to make more money in the stock market. You buy those dips, man. I'm just trying to tell you, man. I'm just trying to school you. We all know stock market in the S&P 500 is going to 15,000 by 2030. I do believe what Tom Lee said. Keep it Econ 100. You already know.